You're just like me, right? At the tippy top of your list of things you just can't wait to do every single week is to dig into your finances and meet with your accountant. Like, just so much fun. The highlight, right? Okay, maybe not. Okay, let's be honest, friends. I have an accounting degree, an interior design degree, and an MBA. I was sort of addicted to school for a little while, and it was super fun. But at the end of the day, I have an accounting degree, and I don't do my own accounting. And what's worse, like, this is one of those things that I hate to admit, but for years, probably the first 5 or 7 years, maybe even longer of my business, I didn't have my finances in order. So no wonder I was having trouble ever getting to financial freedom. I was having trouble just getting to 6 figures. You can probably relate, right? So as much as we might not like it, we have got to get our financial house, as I call it, in order. Because I'm going to talk to you in a minute about financial freedom, but there's no getting to any freedom if we don't get the basics in place. So I know you may not like it. I know you may think it's boring or scary or hard, but you have got to make really understanding your finances a priority. I talk to creatives all the time, and they're at year 5 or 10 or 15, and I ask them about their finances, and they're like, oh yeah, I really need to do that. Well, if you're like me and you go past year 5 or 7, like, you got some big problems. Let's get everything whipped into shape. And when you do that, when you know your numbers, even if you're not making any money yet, awareness is the first step. You gotta know where you are to know how to get to where you wanna go, okay? So now let's look at financial freedom, because when we are aware, even if we're at the bottom, even if we're not really paying ourselves yet, there are some key things that we can do to start moving in the right direction. And that was just a hint. Number 1, pay yourself, and pay yourself well. Well, I know that this might not be easy for you. I know that when we start businesses, we think we need that money for all sorts of things. We need it to pay other people. We need to reinvest it in the business. And that might be okay for a little while. That may be okay for 6 months or 12 months. But if you're on year 5 or 10 or 15 and you're still not paying yourself or paying yourself well because you don't think you can afford to, you got bigger problems than you think. If you can't afford you, then you sure can't afford anybody else on your team. So start by paying yourself. And then the next thing I want you to think about is, what is the quickest way to get to 6 figures first, okay? So we talk a lot about 6 figures, and everybody wants to make 6 figures, but here's the thing. We work too hard to not make at least that amount of money. So our egos and our excitement often override the fact that we actually need to be making money. And we get so focused on getting bigger jobs and fancier jobs and better jobs and all of these clients that want soup to nuts and all this full service stuff. And guess what? If we haven't learned to make money with some of our more basic services, then why in the world, when the stakes are way higher and the jobs are way bigger, do we suddenly think we're going to be able to make money there? Likely not going to happen. So learn how to make money, real money, with your ideas, your intellectual property, and some of your basic services early on in your business, because that's going to be a foundation you can build on for years to come. And finally, I want you to think about this. One of the big problems that's pretty basic but makes a huge difference in our bottom line is the fact that as creatives, a lot of times we just don't charge for all of our hours or time. So whether you're charging hourly or charging a fee, it really doesn't matter. You just have to charge for all of it. Think like a lawyer. Now, trust me, I'm married to a lawyer, so I know how they charge, and it's in 15-minute increments. Creatives don't do this, right? Not only do we not charge in 15-minute increments, we a lot of times will lock 15 hours off the bill just because we're insecure, or we think, oh, the client is going to flip out, or wonder why it took so long. But here's the thing. If it takes 15 hours, if it takes 50 hours, if it takes 500 hours, you still worked every single one of those, and you deserve to be paid for them. So if you can do these basic things in your business, then you can get yourself in a place of really moving towards financial freedom. But freedom never comes when the foundation isn't set. So if I were you, I would make your goal for the next 6 months or the next year really be to get your financial house in order. And if you need help doing this, I'm your girl. Come see me. I have all kinds of ways we can work together, starting with my Design You coaching program and a lot of really cool courses inside that program all about charging what you're worth and moving into financial freedom. So to get more information on that, check the comments below. And while you're there, leave me a comment or two. Tell me what you struggle with the most in your finances, because this is probably the #1 thing you've got to get in order if you want your business to thrive. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you again really soon.